All your life you've been waiting for your chance. Where you fit into the land. You're the master of your own destiny. So give and take the best that you can.
My name is Collier, Daniel Collier. I'm the author of a series of books called Masters of Destiny, and I am an empowerment coach. I help people rearrange their life, transform themselves into something greater than they are, basically taking someone who's ordinary and helping them bring out their extraordinary features. My expertise, I was originally began martial arts classes when I was younger and wrestled in junior high and high school, and then later developed those through further training. My first master was a master in Tang Soo-do, Korean form of martial arts, and Taekwondo. I was an instructor in that for years. It's similar to Hapkido or Aikido in its combat techniques. I also was trained in Jeet Kune Do, became an instructor in Krav Maga, the Israeli form of martial arts, and eventually ended up writing an art called Empty Hands, which was the primary accelerated practice that we did at my martial arts school. They were written after myself had experienced both some very enlightening years of my life where it seemed like there was nothing I couldn't do if I put my mind to it, and a series of events where I had to struggle through a lot of tragedies. Life lessons on empowering yourself. I'm a personal coach in that area. I help to transform people from the life they're living now, basically if they're feeling ordinary, and help them to become something extraordinary. What were they based off of? These books were based off of both the inspirations of my own life. Basically, when I was younger, there was nothing I could not do. And then after a series of tragedies that occurred in my life, I learned that there were certain ways to behave and handle these that would cause you to either be put in a bad position or empowered to overcome them quickly. And I took those ideas and those strategies and I put them in a series of lessons, and now I help people based off of those books. Yeah, I also wrote another book called Reason to Believe. My faith is very important to me, and I basically learned over the years that there was basically only two religions. People were either worshiping God of the Bible, or they were basically worshiping fallen angels, or what some would call Lucifer. Yeah, it took about 10 years to do that research, and it's pretty much indisputable again. Yeah, I grew up in Virginia Beach and pretty much lived on the water, everything water sports. My father was a very dynamic man. He was a very unique individual. He was a softball Hall of Famer. He could build a house from scratch, and he was also an outdoorsman. And he taught me a lot of things that made me who I am today. And so I pretty much learned to become a jack of all trades as I was growing up, from sports to building to mechanics to fishing and hunting and outdoor sports and stuff. I had a very enriched and unique life growing up. A lot of learning experiences that I'm able to share with a lot of people now. I guess you have to learn to love people when they're great and people when they're not so great. That's part of what I'm about. I've been in the same positions. I've been great and not so great. And fighting through those things, you have to learn to understand people and love them for who they are and help them get through things. That's pretty much what I'm about. I love the American way of life. I love freedom. I want to keep it that way. And I want to empower good people to become great. Yeah, I was a fireman for a while. I worked for the city of Norfolk, a very busy fire station. Pretty rigorous job, lots to do, hot in the summertime and all that gear. Also was trained as a shock trauma expert, first responder, working on the ambulances when I wasn't on the fire truck. And yeah, that was a tough job, but that was part of what I felt like my civic duty was after 9/11. Never knew when there was going to be a big attack, and this is one of the biggest military bases. And my family, I don't know about other people's family, but I had a great family, a very, very unique and rich family in the terms of uniqueness and skills and personalities. I come from a Christian background. My family wasn't always Christian, but eventually they all became that way in a little small church that my mother's uncle ran, and a lot of my religious beliefs and stuff came from those eras in my life. My grandmother could sing like crazy. They actually wanted her to cut a record and become a singing star. She used to sing on the radio and stuff. And my mother could sing just as well. In fact, sometimes she would sing in church and people would cry just from her singing. So that's how I ended up singing in a band for a little while. It was just a fun time and something I enjoyed. But you know, I have a history of my grandfather was in World War II. He's a World War II hero. He landed in the beaches of Normandy on D-Day and fought his way all the way to basically the streets of Germany. So that's kind of my never die, never quit type of philosophy, comes from those learning experiences. And so yeah, I had a great family, great, unique sister, beautiful, very, very funny, and she can do stuff that most men can't do. She's really cool. So yeah, I learned a lot growing up and developed me into the man I am today, and you know, helped me make a lot of friends, helped me influence a lot of people, you know, and I'm really thankful for that. How did I get the call sign Action? Well, that probably comes back from back in the day when I used to get in a few more scuffles than I probably should. People would say, don't worry about it, we got action. But probably the best way to describe me now with that is that I put my mind to doing something. And this is one of the things I write about in my books and teach people. Whatever I think about, if I put my mind to doing it, I have learned that thought process is just from, like it says in the Bible, as a man thinketh, so is he. So what I think about, I decide to do it, I put action to it. And I don't waste a lot of time getting there. I'm pretty much ready to do it once I put my mind to it. So yeah, that's how I describe myself nowadays, is my call sign being action.